Shalom. Apostle Tahar coming back at you with this truth, giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem, Yahweh Shai B'Shem, Kakwadash. I say again, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem, Yahweh Shai B'Shem, Kakwadash. Giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem, Yahweh Shai B'Shem, Kakwadash. And I'm going to entitle this video, What is the Gospel? A response to Vocab Malone. Anyway, he put up a video. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I checked out a video that the Apostle Gabar had put up maybe earlier this morning. The title is Get Used to It, Vocab. The Israelites will be on top and all the nations our slaves, or will be our slaves. Okay, it's 8:30 in the morning. Today's date is July 20th, 2022, the year of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai turning up. It's like I said, I didn't see his video, but I may see it later. But I'm not going to listen to its verbal diarrhea. And before I go into this, I want to say a few words on this clown, this demon, this clown. Let me see. Okay, let me do it this way. Hey, this is the clown I'm talking about. Call him the mass shooter. He looks like a creepy mass shooter. This is the guy that shot 22 people at the mall down the street, and he killed himself. You know, he got that look. We caught the creep that shot all these people. Anyway, this is a response to a video. Family of starved teens speaks on Hebrew Israelism. Live interview. This is put up by none other than Satan himself. Kaiser so sick. Louis Cypher, Lucifer. It says, so my response video is fasting. What does the Bible say about it? Because I guess this situation, and it's a tragedy, you know, the two little pretty girls that had to die that way by their father because he was imbalanced, he was off. They kind of show him speaking, let me see. And he's got that 1,000-yard stare. There he is right there. The scriptures speak about being over righteous. Be not thou righteous over much. And you can see when he talks, you know, he's in space somewhere. This is what happens when you blindly follow someone. And we here at Great Millstone, we do not encourage anybody to blindly follow us. You ought to do your research. Whatever we say in the scriptures, anything, you ought to go back and do the research. A perfect example to go by is the Church of Berea. So, let me see. So this demon right here, Louis Cypher, AKA Vocab Malone, got this information from the creepy mass shooter, Sam McGill, ex-Hebrew Israelite. And I've been going back and forth with him on a comment board. Actually, on this video, then he accused me of taking down comments, which I didn't. Whatever comments he put up, you got to talk to the YT people, the YouTube people, because I put some comments up and that didn't come up. So what I did was I went to his page and I put some comments up on his page. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's go to that. We call him the creepy mass shooter. Which high school or mall is he going to get next? So now let's go. Okay, here's his page. So he says, Taha, an atheist does not believe in God, yet you're saying atheists do believe in a God. No, I never said that. You got to go and listen back. It's almost like you believe in a God of atheists, like you're conscious of the God of the atheists. Not saying that you believe in God, but if you're about, I'm gonna tell you something, like King Marshall used to always say, he said, I never met an atheist in a foxhole because he fought in World War II. He said, I never met an atheist in a foxhole. You know, when you're about to die, you find God quick. And however this guy is going to die, maybe he'll slip over a banana peel, maybe he'll get hit with a missile, maybe he'll get shot up, you know, maybe he'll bug out. He might go to the mall and shoot up a bunch of people and the guy, and he finally committed suicide. He killed himself before the cops can get him. Yeah, he's bugged out. He's bugged out, Elder. In my Elder Ariala voice. He bugged out. He bugged out, Elder. So, okay, so he put a comment on my page because I kept calling him creepy. It says, Taha, an atheist doesn't believe in God, yet you're saying atheists do believe in God. I didn't say that. You sound confused. Nope, I wasn't confused. It's almost like you do believe a atheist, a God, the God of the atheist, although you don't believe in God. It's almost like in the back of your mind, you kind of know that there's God. I never said what you just said, clown. So I put in, why do you have a beard on your face? And then I put in a person, atheist, a person who disbelieves meaning this. At one time, you believed in a God. Most atheists, when they're children, a lot of them are Catholics and small hats, and mostly Edomites. This is an Edomite thing, man. Jake believes in God. There's something in this innate in their spirit that they believe in God. Anytime Jake gets an award, the first thing entity that they think is the Most High, then they mama, right? So you might be a tear, brother Esau. Atheist, a person, this is respond to him since he said, I don't know what I'm confused, I sound confused. A person who believes or lacks belief in the existence of God or gods. And normally you don't wake up as an atheist unless you were raised up in a family of atheists, which are normally Edomites. But most of the time, atheists are people who at one time believed in God, and I'm using the word God, and God didn't come through for them at a particular time. So they say, I no longer believe you, God. F you, God. So you've been living a lie most of your life. Yeah, because you were a Roman Catholic, creepy Miguel. Creepy Miguel. He's no longer San Miguel. He's creepy Miguel. So you believed in God since you were, born, you were raised a Roman Catholic, your words. You went from being a Roman Catholic, you went from a white God to a black God, following the ICGJC, formerly One West. And now he makes it clear that he has family members that are still part of the ICGJC. So he's on like a smear campaign to make the ICGJC look bad, but they don't pay him no mind. So you know who he goes after? He goes after GMS. Never did nothing wrong to this guy. Never did nothing wrong to this creepy individual right here. It's future mass shooter in the mall. Okay, let me see here. And I was thinking, right? I don't speak to a lot of people. You know, people that I run into, you know, people in the elevator, people that you run into every day. If they're not in the truth, you actually, you see them coming, you kind of step a little slower, walk a little slower, so you don't go in the elevator with them, or you move, you know, you kind of move fast, so you don't. When you get into this truth, you really don't want a lot of people around you. Not saying that I'm totally like that, because there's certain people that are in the world that I'm cool. Hey, what's up? What's happening, brother? It might be a fight, the NBA playoffs, the Western and Eastern conferences. You might talk a little bit about that, the big fight. You might say a few words, but for the most part, I don't talk to a lot of people. And you know why? Because these people are they're gonna go. You know, they're gonna go, and when it's time to go, you go. They're gonna go and you know, they're gonna suffer terrible death. Either they're gonna starve to death, because starvation, famine is coming to America. This is quickly turning into a third world country. That's why they got a big thing in trying to take the guns, you Homo sapiens and your guns, inside joke. Because when there's no food on the shelves in your local, you know, food stores, you can't get anything, and you didn't stockpile food and get ready for this thing, and you see it coming down the pike. It's all over the world. The warning signs are all over the world. Everybody's protesting, and they leave it out of the mainstream news. Why? Because they don't want you to think, oh, it might come over here. So they leave it out the news. That's why you got to go to, that's why people rely on alternative news, alternative media, alternative news media, A-N-A-N-T, I'm sorry, A-N-M, alternative news. Oh, he even mentioned Alex Jones. He goes into this rant about Alex Jones. He's pissed off at Alex Jones. Alex Jones makes a lot of sense. I watch it myself. So I explained to him, and I know what an atheist is. Okay, San Miguel. So this is him responding to the beard. Why does he have a beard? That's not American. The beard is not American. It says, I choose to let it grow. You're like black women have blonde bleach hair, right? Or blonde wig, and you ask them why. You know why they want to have a blonde hair. It's because they hope that they can wake up one day and turn into a Snow White. You know, they hope that they can turn into a snow bunny. But if you ask them why do you have blonde hair when your hair was originally black or whatever, brown and kinky? Why do you have straight blonde hair? They'll say, because I choose to. Well, if you ask them why do you choose to, they give you a whole runaround. They choose to because they slowly want to morph into a snow bunny. Okay? It says, I choose to let it grow. You're saying I have a beard for a reason. What is the reason for me having a beard? How can you prove my intent? I only ask you a question, my man. Okay. I only ask you a question. Why do you have a beard on your face? And you're getting into how can you prove my intent, which is a which is a very difficult thing to prove. I'm not trying to prove anything. I ask you a question. Why do you have a beard? And did you have a beard when you were guaranteed you didn't have a beard when you were RCC, Roman Catholic Church member? What is my intention behind letting facial hair naturally grow out? And how can you prove my intent? I'm not trying to prove nothing. I'm asking you a question, homeboy. Your gut instincts are not proof. You know that it should be, that's right. That's right. Your gut instincts. I didn't say nothing as to why you got it. I'm asking you a simple question. Why do you have a beard on your face? He got real defensive. Okay, then he says, are you deleting my comments? And the answer is no. That's the YouTube people, did you not believe in a year 2000, living a lie for how many years? Well, it was something that the elders over me said, just like they said, Cornelius is a white man. And we did the research, going back to Church of Berea. We're like the Church of Berea. We did the research and, found out that Cornelius was actually an Israelite. Okay, so I asked him another question. I asked him something about the Edomites, and they didn't let it go up. You can't use that word, the E word. You can't use that word because YT does not like that, man. The people at YT, when that's a word, they'll say, look, whenever them Israelites, especially GMS, when they use the E word, cut it. That's why they did, because they did it before. It says, when did you realize you no longer believe? It should have been believe in a God. No response. Maybe he responded. It says, and then I say, respond, I am not deleting your comments. They're doing it. You got to get in contact with them. Okay, so now let's do this. Let's do this. When we get into the subject, so we're at creepy. Okay, so we're at a creepy Miguel. I dub him Creepy Miguel. Okay, so this is his video, The Curious Case of Manuel Gill, a Hebrew Israelite who starved his teen girls to death, which is a tragedy. It's a tragedy. And he also starved himself. So he obviously was not balanced. But in this video, you said that he followed Rap the News, and Rap the News followed us. Rap the News deals in the Old Testament only, and you know that, you damn demon, you know that. So I question him on that. This is me. Why did you say that Rap, meaning Rap the News, was a member of GMS? Why did you tell that lie? Because it's obvious you know that if you know that Rap the News is an Old Testament Hebrew only, you would know that he's not a part of the GMS. And he was not one of our biggest scoffers until the Most High took him out the frame, so to speak. Okay. Where the rest of I put a couple of comments. Put a couple of comments up here. Okay, there's another one. I'm pretty sure I put more than I'm pretty sure I put about three comments. It says the ICGJC doesn't, okay, the comment was, okay, here's another example of why that cult isn't beneficial to the Black and Latino community whatsoever. Each incident put this movement, I guess they're talking exclusively about the ICGJC, not the IUIC, they're still around, into a state of obscurity. I rarely see the ICGJC in the streets teaching anymore. So I responded to this person. The ICGJC doesn't street teach anymore is because the Lord is not with them. And that's true. The Lord, the Spirit of the Lord is not with them at all. Okay, this was put up by the beloved brother out of Baltimore, the elder out of Baltimore, Karatazabar. He says, Rap the News did not come out of GMS. And Creepy Miguel knows that. Okay, I think they left all the comments put up. He says, okay, thanks. I'm gonna back and verify which GMS channel I got that from. You didn't get it from no channel. I like to see that. Because you know that we're former members of One West, and you know that we deal with the whole book, which in the Old Testament and the New Testament. So you know that, you damn demon. Okay, you know that. I'm gonna verify and check. Well, I'll wait. I won't hold my breath. What channel I got that from. So this guy is checking out all the GMS videos. Creepy Miguel, that's his name, Creepy Miguel. If I made a mistake, I'll correct it. Okay, like I said, I'm not gonna hold my breath if I made a mistake. No, you knew what the hell you were doing, you damn demon. Then I come back and I say, he's a demon. That's why. Okay, let me come here. Did I put any more comments up? Anyway, bottom line is he should really thank us, because we're gonna start giving him, you're gonna start getting more views. That's why he ran to Louis Cypher, aka Vocab Malone, to push this story so he can get, that this can push it. He can go on his platform. He has a very small platform. Anyway, let's get into the topic. And I'm gonna make this very, let me see where the hell. Bear me for a minute. Bear me for a minute. Bear me for a minute. Okay, I gotta go back. Damn. Let me do this. Bear me for a minute. Okay. Okay, I'm back over here. Okay, so now let's get into it. Like I said, I caught this video part of it, a couple of minutes, and then I said, let me get up and do sort of a response. So get used to it, vocab. The Israelites will be on top in all the nations. Our slaves, or our slaves, or will be our slaves. This is vocab's page, his last video, asking Israelite, what is the gospel? As a matter of fact, you know what I gotta go to? I want to get the rest of this title. Vocab. Vocab. Ask an Israelite, what is the gospel? Watch what happens next. How long is this video? 8 minutes, I may watch it. You know what? Let's watch a little bit of it.
The question is, what do you believe the gospel is? So the gospel means good news. What is the good news? And just having to find it. It's rare to find one who finds it, I think, in a way that matches what the Bible says. The one Westers who don't think other nations can be saved, if they're honest with you, they'll turn to Luke 4. And you may say, where's this going? I'll show you. They'll turn to Luke 4. And then in Luke 4, they'll have Jesus reading from Isaiah 61, which he does. And the Bible says,
Good. That's exactly where I was going to go to. Okay, so let's see where this goes. I hope you can hear this. I got it set up where you should be able to hear this loud and clear.
If you handed the scroll back to the attendant, remember that? Shows you, by the way, Jesus was literate in the Hebrew. Some people, Jesus was illiterate. He's reading from the Hebrew scroll. Well, that's made up, but it shows you he knew, right? And then he says, this is fulfilled in your hearing, right? You read Isaiah 61, he stops. He focuses on the stuff that he comes to do this time and then does not proceed to the stuff he comes to do the second time. But if you read all of Isaiah 61, there's a part in there that has what scholars call the submission motif. The submission motif. And I'm going to show you what I mean so that you can know, and you'll say, oh, okay. Starting in verse 5 of Isaiah 61. So Jesus read from here, and this is answering the question. I'm going to go back to it. Strangers shall stand and tend your flocks. Foreigners shall be your plowmen and vine dressers. But you shall be called the priests of the Lord. They shall speak of you as the ministers of our God. You shall eat the wealth of the nations, and in their glory you shall boast. Instead of your shame, there shall be a double portion. Instead of dishonor, they shall rejoice in their lot. Therefore, in their land they shall possess a double portion. They shall have everlasting joy. For I, the Lord, love justice. I hate robbery and wrong. I will faithfully give them their recompense and make an everlasting covenant with them. And it goes on and talks about all these different things, such as verse 4. I forgot verse 4. They shall build up the ancient ruins. They shall raise up the former devastations. They shall repair the ruined cities, the devastations of many generations. Now, you should see that, okay, Isaiah is talking about some version of a restored Israel. That's the main emphasis you should get from that, I believe. And people can debate exactly did that happen.
In other words, that's about to happen. So when our Lord read out of Luke chapter 4, and I'll go to it, he says, this prophecy has been fulfilled in your ears. And they try to throw him off the mountain. So if that was fulfilled, what about the rest of Isaiah? I mean, I'm sorry, Luke 4. I'm sorry, Isaiah 61. The rest has to be fulfilled, right? We're gonna read Luke 4, and we're gonna see if you're gonna believe in the first verse, the second verse, the third verse. You got to believe in the fourth verse, the fifth verse, the sixth verse, and the rest of Isaiah 61. Part of that prophecy is the other nations are going to be our slaves. So let's listen a little bit more.
Is it going to happen? There's all kinds of questions there. We'll go off if we get bogged down there. But the one Westers see this. That is showing you how the other nations are going to be our slaves in the kingdom. So see where you have, that's a submission motif of where there are passages in the Bible where it portrays other nations as being in service to Israel. So what do we do with that? So different people do different things with that. Ultimately, I think the answer should be Christological. Everyone does not agree with this, even other Christians, where there is some immediate fulfillment. For example, when Israel comes back after exile and things like that. And I could show you some verses related to that in Ezra, because that's when they come back. It says they came back with servants. Hebrewites don't usually accept that. They don't think it's enough. I think it's Ezra 165, the verse I'm talking about. It's at the end of Ezra when you see it. But ultimately, even that is
Okay, good one. But they came back with servants. I agree. I read that. I agree. But it said they shall build away cities. Let's say it's talking about rebuild the temple, Jerusalem. What happened in is that Ezra 4? When these other nations said we want to build with you, they said no. They didn't have other nations building with them. They built the temple. It tells you that they had tools, building tools in their hands. Matter of fact, let's go to that. It's talking about the future kingdom. Let me go to this real quick. I didn't know he was going to throw that fastball at me. Okay, what is it? Ezra, I believe that's 4. Is it Ezra 4? It's got to be Ezra 4. Ezra. Okay, Ezra 4. Let's see what comes up. Okay. He's talking about what he just said, the rebuilding, coming out of captivity, Babylonian captivity. And they also teach that the fulfillment of Isaiah 14, verse 1, 2 on down is referring to them coming out of captivity. And the servants are servants. And yes, you can be captive under another nation, under empire, and you can have servants of other nations. They allow you to, certain captivities allow that. All right. I mean, that happened in the Roman Empire. You had the ones that sat in Moses' seat had authority over the rest of Israel, but they were ultimately under the power of the Roman Empire. So if you don't study and check this out, these so-called scholars can get you. So it says, adversaries hinder the work. These are the other nations. Now, when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard, and Levi, of course, that the sons of the captivity, children of Israel, builded the temple unto the Lord, because it had to be rebuilt because it was burnt down by the Edomites. It wasn't the Babylonians, it was the Edomites that burnt them down. That's in the Apocrypha. The Lord power of Israel. Then they came to Zerubbabel. He was a governor of Judah, and the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, let us build, let us build with you, for we seek your power as we do, as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Ashur, which brought us up hither. You got to go back to 2 Kings 17. So they were taught the law by a priest. And you know what I'm gonna do? Now this is kind of going into a history class. Let me do this. Let me go to the commentary. Anyway, when our Lord read the book in Luke 4, the book of Isaiah 61, and Luke 4, it uses the term gospel, and Luke and Isaiah 61, it uses the term glad tidings, which means the same thing. Glad tidings means good news. Gospel means good news. What is it? Johann Gillian, good news. So now let's go over here. Bear with me for a minute. I think I already made my point, but come on, man. Oh, Amos 9:11. That's okay. Let's see what the commentators say. Okay, Cambridge is pretty long, so I guess for we seek your God as ye do, we do sacrifice unto him. The Hebrew, yet ye do no sacrifice, since the Hebrew word unto, kind of mumbling to myself, though written with a different second letter, or they should have mentioned 2 Kings 17. Oh, good. They mentioned 2 Kings 17. As ye do. This is Eliot's commentary for English readers. As ye do. We seek your God as ye do. So can we build with you? They feared the Lord and worshiped their own gods. They feared the Lord and served their own gods after the manner of the nations whom they carried away from thence. And now you know what I got to do? I got to go into this. So they got it right. It says, as ye do, they feared the Lord and worshiped their own gods. So let me take this. Okay, bear me for a minute, y'all. Okay, give me a second. Okay, good. Starting at the 24th verse, 2 Kings 17, verse 24. See, Christians don't get into this. That's why, this clown, Geno Jennings, he did that response to he called them the Purple Gang, surrounding their school, which is way off. That's a low point in in IUIC. That's a low point. You go into another church, and then church goers, they pulled out knives on you. They were hitting you with shoes. They just started beating the shit out you, man. You know? But and the reason why that happened is because you had no business going to these churches in the first place. They already know about us. People that go to church watch YouTube too. They come across videos dealing with the various Israelite groups. Anyways, it says cities of Israel filled with strangers. And why did that happen? Because the Israelites were pushed out of the land, the northern kingdom, by the king of Assyria at that time. Was that Shalmaneser the fifth? His father started and he finished it. The fourth started and his son finished it. When you go into the secular history. And by the way, this is for you, Creepy Miguel. All these prophetic, all of the prophetic parts of the scripture, like Daniel 8, or Daniel 11, Daniel 2 Kings. These kings actually existed. When you go to the New Testament, the scriptures mention certain Caesar's names. They mention, I know they mentioned Tiberius. And I believe they mention Augustus. I'm not sure, but they mention certain Caesars, but they mention Tiberius by name. So that fits the history. It says, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cutha and from Ava. So these were people of that region. So he said, let me, since the kingdom, the northern kingdom is not here anymore, let me put these other people in there. And from Hamath and from Seraphaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria. That was really the capital of the tribe of Ephraim, instead of the children of Israel, instead of the sons of Israel, because they were taken over and they were brought against their wills into the land of Assyria. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord, Yahweh. How do you fear the Lord? Through keeping his commandments. Therefore, Yahweh sent lions among them, which slew some of them, which killed some of them. That's why these small hats call themselves keeping certain laws of the Most High. Because that land is a sacred place. When you're in that land, you're supposed to keep the laws. Ultimately, the small hats are going to get blasted to hell and back. It says, wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, which is Shalmaneser, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner, laws, customs, laws of the Most High of the land. Therefore, he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the Most High of the land, the God of the land. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests. He didn't go and popping all kind of women of the other nation. He went there, he taught him the law, and then he went back. One of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let them teach them the manner of the power of the land, meaning the laws. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel and taught them how they should fear the Lord. What does it mean to fear the Lord? Why they bring a priest? Because a priest teaches the law to Israel. So he's teaching these other heathen nations. So they will no longer be attacked by lions. Howbeit, every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the houses of the high places which the Samaritans had made, every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. And the men of Babylon made Succoth Benoth, and the men of Cuth made Nargal, and the men of Hamath made Hishma. In other words, they were worshiping their gods, and the Most High said, nope, you're in my land, I'm gonna send lions on you. I don't have to read the rest of this. Ultimately, they began to keep the laws. That's why you have the woman at the well, St. John, the 4th chapter. Our father's Jacob, and the Lord said, no, you're not a descendant of Jacob. You're not even a Jew. You're not an Israelite. He said, the hour shall cometh when the true worshipers shall worship. He said to her, the woman at the well, ye know not what ye worship. We know we worship the Israelites, but salvation is of Yahweh. Okay, so let's come back. See, I'm kind of all over the place. But anyway, I don't have to read the rest of this. Bottom line is, they didn't allow them to build that up. So this is them coming out of Babylon. So what the hell are you talking about, vocab? Let me see, let me find this. Okay, and he pretty much made this easy for me because he said, this is what the Israelites will do. They'll go to Luke 4, then they'll go to Isaiah 60, right? Because that's what the Lord read at him. You damn clown. You people are so easy, man. So let's go to Luke 4. Luke 4. I believe that's a 19 verse. Let's come down. Okay, no, it's above that. Please return. He taught. He came to Nazareth. He went to the synagogue and on the Sabbath day, meaning he wasn't defiled, and stood up for the read, which we call the Sabbath service, which is not on the Saturday. It was based upon when the new moon came in, and there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah, Isaiah 61. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel, good news. And Isaiah's glad tidings, same thing, to the poor. The poor are Israelites because the Romans took them over. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted. Our hearts were broken when the Romans took us over. To preach deliverance, to deliver you, to preach deliverance to the captives. We are the captives under who? Under the Roman Empire. And recovering of sight to the blind, because you had Israelites that followed Gentile customs. That's why Paul, went to the Gentiles. Those are actually Israelites. To set at liberty, to free. What does it mean? What does it mean to be liberated? It means to be freed. Now you got to pull out those words. And they say a whole lot. When you go into that Greek word and the meanings of those words, them that are what? Bruised. Who bruised them? The Romans. Matthew's 11, I believe that's 11 or 12. The kingdom of heaven was taken by violence, and the violent taken by force. The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. The kingdom of heaven are Israelites. This is what our Lord told the scribes and the Pharisees. The kingdom of heaven is within you, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. Now, did the Lord actually deliver us? Nope. He's going to deliver us in the second leg or the rebirth of the Roman Empire, which is this system right now, because we're still in their clutches. Okay, and he closed the book and he gave it again to the minister. And then when you read down, they attempted to throw him off the mountain. He was quoting from Isaiah 61. Isaiah, let me get ready to close. Isaiah 61. You Christians are so easy. And Geno Jennings, with his loud talking ass, he'll never debate Captain Tazariak. I was listening to him last night. He was on Sarnetta's show, and they Sarnetta, brought up the fact that the IUIC, went to Philadelphia and surrounded the church, which they were clearly way off. You could just say, be harmless as doves and be sheep in the midst of wolves. Now, had there been a bunch of sheep, 1,000 sheep that surrounded the campus of Geno Jennings Church, they would have went outside and he would say, that's a miracle. What is the sheep? The lamb of the Lord. Let's go, let's pet them sheep. Let's feed them. Let's find out. You wouldn't be afraid to go out. But let's say wolves, there's 2,000 wolves and surrounded your church. You would call the governor, you call the police, you call the National Guard, because that's a threat. And that's how the IUIC rolled on you like wolves. It's the scriptures say we are sheep in the midst of wolves. They were clearly wrong, and that's why it backfired on you. That's why you got a 9mm pulled on you. That's why you got shoes, Abba Ya'ala, formerly Abba Ya'ala. He cracked me up. He said that the woman took off her corn chip smelling shoes. Hey, he's a funny dude. Anyway, it says, okay, I don't got to read any more of this. Anyway, he quoted out of Isaiah 61. So what is Isaiah 61? We in Isaiah 61, I'm sorry. In the book, in Luke chapter 4, was that fulfilled? It was fulfilled that he was the guy that's going to be the deliverer. That's why his name, the angel Gabriel told Joseph in the dream, you shall call this boy, your son, Yahushai, for he shall save his people from their sins, to preach the acceptable year, the year of deliverance. Did he deliver Israel? No, he did not. He gave him the gospel. He gave him an understanding. That's why in Acts 1, around about the fifth, sixth verse, they said the apostles said, "Will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to the children of Israel?" And he said, "It's not for you to know." You can read that, because they're going by what he read in Isaiah 61. He's going to fulfill that in this time, in the second leg of the Roman Empire. So it says the same thing. But he says good tidings, not glad tidings, good tidings. In the New Testament, it says gospel, which means good tidings, glad tidings, good news. Who were the captives? We were the captives during the time of the pagan Roman Empire over 2,000 years ago. To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, the day of vengeance, which the Lord didn't come down and avenge anybody. Of our Lord to comfort all that mourn. We're still mourning. So this is talking about the second leg of the Roman Empire. So now if this is a prophecy, the whole book is a prophecy. It says, "In strangers, they shall build the old cities." And this is after the destruction, because Palestine, the land of Israel, is going to be totally destroyed like Babylon the Great, but it's going to be built back up. Then there's going to be certain places on the planet that's going to be built back up. These pagan type buildings, they're going to have to be destroyed and built back up. "And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the aliens of the nation shall be your plowmen and your wine dressers." So that's slavery. So let's look this word up and I'm gonna close. Plowmen. Let's deal with the word plowmen. Another word for slave, plowmen. The word is akar, which means plowman, husbandman, farmer working the land, yet not owning any of it. Any of what? Any of the land. So another way of saying plowman is a slave. It says in Amos 9, I always go to this, the plowman shall overtake the reaper. The plowmen represent the Israelites in captivity under Esau. Esau is a last ruling kingdom in this system. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Esau is going to be pushed out, which are you so-called white people, and Jacob is going to sit on that throne. The plowman shall overtake the reaper. The reaper are the ones that reap the benefit. So anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.